Hello, welcome to this session of Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. My name is Mona E Mosavi, and today I am delighted to be with Kim Miles, who is the director or the IT director at World Intellectual Property Organization. I'm so excited to be having a discussion about tech and tech careers with her today. Thank you so much for coming. We're so excited to have you. Talking Tech is a series celebrating girls and women in technology being recorded around the world between Girls in ICT Day 2020 and Girls in ICT Day 2021. Girls in ICT Day is an international day marked on the fourth Thursday of each April. In 2020, Girls in ICT Day is April 23rd. The objectives of Girls in ICT Day are to help create a global environment that empowers and encourages girls and young women to consider studies and careers in the growing field of information and communication technologies. The Talking Tech series is brought to you by the ITU UNICC, the Office of the UN Secretary General's Envoy on Youth, and is in support of Equals, the Global Partnership for Gender Equality in the Digital Age. Columbia Law School is pleased to partner on this session today. The goals of this series include an interest and inspire girls and young women with information about a range of ICT careers that can be had, bring before a broader audience some of the role model women in technology, and share information about their career journeys and work, offer diverse examples of how ICT is being used to support achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals and other UN goals, and to showcase initiatives that are working with girls to support them in ICT studies or future ICT careers. To kick this session off, I'm going to introduce you to Kim Miles. I'm delighted to now shift to the conversation with her. And I would just like to begin with asking you, when and how did you get into technology?
Hi, Mona. Good afternoon. Pleasure to talk with you today. So my journey into IT was not an obvious one, not an easy one. I think if I look back, when I was in high school, we did an aptitude test. I think I was around about 15. You know, when you start thinking about university and what you'd like to do. And we did an aptitude test, and my results came back saying engineer. And I was horrified. I was like, I don't want to be an engineer to build bridges. That's the only thing I could think of. So I completely rejected that idea, ignored it, and went off to university and studied English and politics, which I loved. And I then landed up getting some jobs over time, actually in Switzerland. And I did my master's in international studies. And gradually, the work that I was doing landed up being more and more techie. They were in the sort of early mid 90s. And just when the World Wide Web was starting, so Geneva was really an international hub, the place to be. And it was so exciting. And I was learning to code and learning about HTML and the World Wide Web, and it was great. And gradually, I realized that my work and my university, they didn't align at all. They were in parallel tracks. So I went back to university and I did a Bachelor of Science in Computer Science. And then at the same time, I had a job actually at ITU doing technical support. And that was the first time when I realized what engineering means, that it's not just building bridges, that it could be so many things. And it all started making sense for me, and that's where I started in my tech journey.
What an amazing journey. And it's so great to hear that the first choice of a career isn't always where you're going to end up. And it's so nice to hear that you, along the way, kind of figured out where you fit and belonged, and now you're in an amazing career. So could you tell me about your path from then until now, a little bit about the jobs you had maybe and what steps you took?
Yeah, sure. So I've had so many different jobs, and I think that that's one thing that I would advise, other young women starting, maybe in high school or university, and you're not sure where you're going to go. I was one of those people who really had no idea. It was what opportunities presented themselves to me, the people that I met, the things that I found interesting along the way. So starting doing sort of tech, I did some software development. Then at ITU, I did some technical support. I landed up leaving and going to the World Intellectual Property Organization and building software for the first time, proper software. And I absolutely loved it. And then for personal reasons, I went to the UK, to London, and took a hard right into hardware and data centers and load bearing floors and electricity. And it was a completely different side to me. And I did implementations of this. And again, it was just interesting. So I think I've always been driven by what's interesting. And but software always calls to me. It calls to my heart. I love it. And I love the sort of front facing parts. I like the user experience parts, and the engine of the back end is so important. But I like the getting people in and how to engage with your customers. And so then I was offered some other roles at the World Intellectual Property Organization. I did business continuity for a while. I was the business continuity coordinator, which meant disaster recovery, and especially from an IT sense. And then I was lucky enough to get my position as director of the Hague IT division, which was a new division. And the Hague is a business area within the World Intellectual Property Organization that deals with the international registration of industrial designs. So in other words, how something looks. So the patent is how it works, the trademark we all know, and then the design is how it looks. And so we register those, and we maintain the international register. And it's great. I love it, and I'm extremely fortunate.
That's amazing to hear. And can you tell me a little bit about your job currently?
Sure.
I would love to hear more about that.
Sure. So as I mentioned, we in WIPO there are a few business areas. So it's obviously intellectual property, so supporting innovation and creativity around the world, and the innovators and creators themselves. So in The Hague, we deal with the registration of industrial designs, and that can be our focus is slightly different in that it's often individuals who register their designs as well as big companies. And it's really the look of something. So we take somebody would file their application with us. It then gets examined. We receive the application in our back office, and the software that we support is for our internal examiners to go through their business processes, and also then we publish those. So once it is available for the public, it's gone through its whole legal process, then it's available online for anyone to consult. So we have a lot of it's hidden, and our internal customers really mainly use our software, but it's fun.
That's so great to hear. And I know you touched on this a little bit earlier, but could you tell me a little bit about what is your favorite part about working in technology?
Oh gosh, that's a really good question. I think it's the balance of, I like things, how to make things work. It's that how do you get things to work? And it's also the creativity of it. How do we build something that's a great solution? How do we get a business requirement, which sometimes can be vague or sometimes with lawyers very, very specific? How do we make that work? How do we adjust it and also then become invisible so that when people use our software, it's intuitive, it's obvious. I love that when somebody thinks that what we're doing is easy. That to me is a great objective.
And I'm sure it's a very difficult objective to reach. Can I'm sure it looks a lot easier on my end because as someone who hasn't been in the hard sciences before, I just see the product and I don't see all the work that goes into it. So it's incredible to see how much passion you have for what is going on behind the scenes.
It's great.
Could you tell me one or two things you've done in technology that you are particularly proud of?
I think, let me think. I think one thing which I certainly am proud of is being adaptable. So I think being able to work in so many different areas. My focus is always really on the human, believe it or not. So I like making my customers happy. So whether it's providing technical support on the phone, or whether it's our customers who come in and they need the data center and they need the racks and the cages to be working and to put their hardware in place, or actually just somebody sitting there using our software. I think that really is the driver for me, and I'm proud of being adaptable. And that's it, is how to make something not look complicated. That people are at ease with the technology that we provide. That's a big objective to me, and I'm most happy when that happens.
Absolutely. And do you have any lessons you would like to share with girls and young women who are on this journey in IT? I would love to learn more about that.
Sure. I would absolutely encourage everyone to get involved in technology. There's just so much to do, and I think the errors that I made when I was younger was not understanding how broad ranging it is. I really had very clear ideas. I was nervous about the sort of IT geeky people at my university because they looked so smart, and I was a bit intimidated by that. And it was very male, certainly in the age when I was doing it. And I think it's to have confidence in yourself. There's so many jobs and so many roles, and we need people who are, people who have different interests. So I would just say, whether you're the kind of person who likes planning and making lists and being project manager or monitoring solutions, talking on the phone, helping customers, explaining something, um, that that really, I would just say, go for it, please. The more people we have with different ideas and different backgrounds, it makes our job easier and fun, and it makes our teams interesting. That's what I look for if I'm going to recruit somebody. The first thing we start off with, of course, is somebody who's got a technical level. Imagine we're looking for a developer. But then after that, I really want somebody who'll be a good fit in the team, who will bring some extra dimensions, who will bring some depth to our team. And that's why I don't want bland, homogenous teams. I really would like more girls, more people from different countries and different backgrounds. Apply, join us, please.
I think that's some great advice. There is definitely no surplus of women in IT, and we would love to have more join us along the way. My
Totally.
last question for you is, have you faced any challenges in particular, maybe as a young woman or girl yourself, and how did you overcome that?
I think yes. I think a lot of that was maybe my understanding of what it meant, what technology meant, or what IT meant. Certainly, I think that was in when I was younger. I found that intimidated. I was easily intimidated by that. And I think as I got older, I realized and made more experience, I realized the value of the different experiences, and that we can all have an equal voice, and that it's important that we're all there, that we can talk up, have confidence in yourself, and be part of it. IT is everywhere. It's technology. I don't think there's any company or industry which isn't actually a technology company. So no matter what you're interested in, whether it's the pharmaceuticals or the intellectual property, the law, anything, there's it, it's all IT.
And that's where I think I found my passion for intellectual property, was that it's just really at the forefront of the law, and it's just an ever changing industry. And I think that's something that is so fascinating to me, to be on the forefront of law, and the intersection of that with science and technology is so exciting.
And have you yourself done anything, Mona, and that you're particularly excited about or proud
Sure.
of?
So right now I'm a second year at Columbia Law School, and I do focus on soft intellectual property. I think
Okay.
something that I'm particularly proud of is that I'm on the Journal of the Law and Arts, and art is defined very broadly in the journal. So we do anything from sports and entertainment to also copyright and trademark issues. And I think being on that journal and understanding and getting to read these amazing works by professors and academics in the field has been so encouraging. So it's been something that I've been particularly proud of is just my journey and coming to Columbia and finding my passion for IP.
I think that's fantastic because it's so true. Intellectual property, I think we're lucky. That's exactly it. I think it's a great area to be involved in because it's not just interesting for ourselves, but also it brings so much value around the world from you know artists, any kind of creator, innovators. That's exactly it. That we can support and enable creative people. I think it's fantastic. That's great. I'm really pleased. That's excellent. And in terms of yourself, Mona, are you going to continue studying, or what is your next aim?
Sure. So I actually recently accepted a job at a firm. So I will be staying in New York City, doing work probably in the corporate area, hopefully related to IP. So it's going to be a long journey. I think it's something when I was going through this process that I was very attuned to looking at firms and people that are really passionate about intellectual property. And that's something that really stood out to me. So I will be doing that. I'll be going into the firm route for a bit. Hopefully last for a while. And I think it'll be a good experience for me to get my hands on some of the best training that New York offers and also learn more about IP.
Absolutely. Well, good luck. Yeah, I hope that goes well for
Thank you.
you.
I appreciate it. Okay, that wraps up our session today for Talking Tech, Women and Girls in ICT. Thank you so much, Kim. I really enjoyed our chat today. And thank you so much to our viewers for watching.
Thanks, Mona. It was great.
I had a lovely time. Thank you so much,
Me
Kim.
too. Thank you. Bye.